around the association in 30 minutes. Welcome to Nothing But Net on the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network, where we discuss the happenings of today's NBA through the eyes of a couple of old heads. Now, remember, you can catch Nothing But Net Wednesdays, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, right here on YouTube, Facebook Live, and X. The audio version of Nothing But Net is available on Thursday on all your favorite podcasting platforms like Spotify, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio, just to name a few. And make sure you are subscribing to the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network on all of your social media platforms. Now, with that being said, see Midnight Rider, let's jump it up.
Let's go, baby. Tip it off, baby. All right, let's go. Let's just start with what's going on right now. I know we got content we want to hit, but I know you got your eyes on the game, and this is going to lead to something we're going to talk about later on.
Yeah,
we got a premier matchup tonight.
Yeah, exactly. Right now on ESPN, you have the top seed in the West, the Oklahoma City Thunder, traveled to Madison Square Garden to take on the number 3 seed in the Eastern Conference, the New York Knicks. Current score in the first quarter, about 3 minutes and 33 seconds to go. The Oklahoma City Thunder 20, the New York Knicks 13. So yeah, that's a marquee matchup, and it's a good thing to see marquee matchups late in the season. Okay, and with that being said, last night was a good night for basketball, and mainly because of let's just say the three games that we're gonna focus on from last night in our Tuesday night spotlight. Think we need a theme for that? You know what I'm saying? Because I know it sounds cool when I say Tuesday night spotlight. However, if we had some music going, you know what I'm saying? Maybe
we'll figure it out.
We'll play around with it, ladies and gentlemen. We'll play around with it. All right. So let's start off in Philadelphia last night. Now, San Antonio Spurs. To me, they found it. They found their niche. They were the best team in the month of February. Did not lose a game in the month of February. Month of March start. They go to Madison Square Garden. They dropped their first. They dropped their first game. Had 11-game winning streak. Dropped the game by nearly 20 points to the New York Knicks. So what did they do to get their mojo back? They go to Philly and they bounce back big time, blowing out the Philadelphia 76ers 131-91. Now, this was a team, Philadelphia 76er team without Joel Embiid and without Paul George still serving that 25-game suspension for due to the drug policy. Now, granted, me saying without Joel Embiid and without Paul George, Midnight Riders, shouldn't we already be used to that?
I think it's the coup de joy, man. It's the theme of the night. I think, actually, to be honest with you, I think this team struggles when those two are in the lineup because it takes shots away from VJ. It doesn't let Maxey give you a full Tyrese Maxey because he has to defer to those two guys sometimes. So that's why I think it's almost as if the additions or having those two players play actually hurts the ball club and hurts the rotations.
Yeah. Yo, this game was damn near bell to bell. Okay. By the end of the Sixers had a small lead in the first quarter, and then the Spurs grabbed a lead, grabbed a 7-point lead at the end of the first. And then after that, man, it was like off to the races. Bruh, they had a 46-point. Let me repeat that. A 46-point second quarter.
Oh, thank God you said that. I thought you were about to say they had like a 46-0 run or something. Let me see that.
Man, look. If we had a 40, if they had a 46-0 run, I would probably break some rules and actually put some highlights up here that might have got us flagged, but we ain't gonna do that, right? So,
Right.
And look, in the third quarter, check this out. The Spurs outscored the 76ers 35-11 in the third quarter.
Oh, so we got some names that we weren't expecting to see play on in the fourth.
By the fourth quarter, that that is correct. And I mean, it's something, you had Bismack Biyombo getting some time. You had Kelly Olynyk getting some time. You had the person that should have been the slam dunk champion, Carter Bryant, getting some time. But yeah, I mean, but I'll say this. This was the way a team is supposed to respond after a major loss. All right. And the Spurs came out and responded the way they should have. I mean, you had Devin Vassell, leading scorer with 22 points. Wemby only had 10 points, bro. Okay. But 10 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. They were clicking on all cylinders. They were clicking on all cylinders. This team is ahead of schedule. They are ahead of schedule, right? And they needed, they did what you're supposed to do. Like I said, when you take an L, what you're supposed to do is come back, and they came back on the road and smacked that A in Philly.
They are the team that I think is the most dangerous to OKC because they are mirror reflection.
Exactly.
Long, athletic, multiple guys that can score. I mean, what else do you want from this team? I almost think. I'll save it for later.
Okay. I mean, well, think about it. They have built on the same timeline,
right,
that Oklahoma City has built. Okay. Think about it. They got Wemby. Who got drafted right after Wemby? Chet.
Yep.
Okay. They maintained getting top draft picks in the 3 drafts after Wemby, which you turned into, Stephon Castle, she turned into Devin Vassell, and now you've turned into Dylan Harper. All right. So yeah, like I said, they did,
don't cheat the other move. The other move is the trade to get you somebody else to run the show.
Oh yeah, getting Swiper. Yeah, getting De'Aaron Fox.
De'Aaron Fox makes a whole big difference, and that's their version of Shea. I mean, he's not the same type of player, but he has the same impact on his roster.
Yeah, and that's the reason why this timeline got sped up, or did it, if you really think about it, or did it, once you get Wemby, your plan is already, we trying to recreate what we already had and what we've been building. Now, let's go to one of last night's other spotlight games, which were the third seed New York Knicks, coming off of that big win at the Garden against the Spurs, going up to Toronto and beating the Toronto Raptors for the 12th straight time, 111-95. Now, as it relates to the Toronto Raptors, one, they are they're the number 5 team in the East, right? When we previewed the season, we had Toronto competing.
Right.
We did not expect Toronto to be in the top 6. And to be quite honest with you, comfortably, if I'd say so, comfortably in the top 6. And that's one of the reasons why, is because they got a closer in Brandon Ingram. Okay. And last night, B.I., Mr. Glorilla, had 31 points in last night's game. He had 25, he had 20 plus points before halftime. However,
what are your thoughts on Bi?
um,
I feel like he's always going to be a great scorer on a bad team or a marginal team, but I don't know if he's going to be a great scorer on a good team.
To me, he has the opportunity to prove it because this Toronto Raptors team,
right?
With the Scotty Barnes, with an Emmanuel Quigley, with a RJ Barrett. This is a good team. This is a team that right now is earning, this is a team right now that's earning their place as as one of the top 6 teams in the Eastern Conference, earning their slot. But got to balance it. Gotta say this. Got to balance attack out of the New York Knicks. OG Anunoby, 15 points as he, because he likes to play well against his old team. But last night was mainly led by Karl Anthony Towns, who leads the league in double doubles, 21 and 12, and of course Jalen Brunson with 26 points and 10 assists, with him doing what he does, which is take over the fourth quarter and pretty much put this game away.
So let me ask you this question. I don't remember we did it, so blame my 50-year-old brain if we didn't cover the Cat and Shaq conversation. What were your thoughts as a Knicks fan by Shaq saying basically telling him if you weren't soft and you played more dominant, this team would be in a better position?
And I didn't take it that way. Okay, I didn't take it that way. Shaq, to me, what I heard Shaq say, the Cat, was, for y'all to win the championship, y'all got to play down. You have to be dominant. Okay, I know that since you've come to New York, you've been a team first player. All right, your goal is team first, and what was coming out of Cat's mouth was team first. But you got to be more dominant. You got to be more selfish. To me, that wasn't a criticism of Cat. That was an experienced big man champion telling another big man what he needs to do to get his team to the next level.
Okay. You covered my question. We good, baby.
Now, really, the straight up Farilla game of the night was in Cleveland, the Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Eastern Conference leading Detroit Pistons, and the Cavs got the win. Down Spider, down Dean Wade. So they were down 2 starters in this game, and they outlasted the Pistons, leading for the majority of the game, but winning the game 113-109. Since the James Harden trade, the Cleveland Cavaliers are 8-1 with the Beard running the point.
Well, the good thing is, for the most part, he's going to be there. So you're not worrying about foot injuries like you were with Darius Garland. But the other thing is, he has this ability to get into the lane and create for others. Last night, Evan Mobley kind of became the beneficiary, but early on in his starts there, it's been Jared Allen. So
Jared Allen has averaged like 22 points a game since since the Beard joined the team.
So when you see something like that, you automatically know instant impact on the team. And then the other thing is, you can go a night or two without Spider. You don't have to play him maybe on a back-to-back. Give him a little rest, because Harden's not going to have to score 30 for this team to be successful and win. He can score 18 and get, like he did last night, get you 18 and 7. And this team was in the ball game the whole time. You got some good performance from, I think, Sam Merrill and a couple other people.
Actually, it was. Hold on for a second. I'm about to pull his name up because he was all over it last night. Jalen Tyson. Jalen Tyson. 20. He had a 22 point. He had a 22 point night. And he was very involved, very active. this Cavs team is, I'll say it like this. This Cavs team is looking like what I expected the Cavs team to look like at the beginning of the season. Remember when we did our preview show, I picked the Cavs to be the top seed.
Right.
To win the East? No, but I picked them to be the top seed. And right now, with the addition of James Harden, they're looking like that.
Oh, real quick in the comments, I got Josh Walker says NBC with the clapping emojis. But he had a guest. You gotta check her out. Young lady name was Dominique on his show, Highly Opinionated. It should be available in your YouTube. Young lady's I think she said her 3 brothers played with Cassell, Keith Booth and company on the playground.
Okay.
She's got a nice story, man. I didn't get a chance to watch all of it. I saw a couple clips. So my homework tonight, after I watch a couple shows, it's probably gonna be more like in the middle of the night. Josh knows I don't sleep at certain periods of time, and I'll be watching his show and commenting on the show or sending him messages. So I'm gonna check that out.
Well, no, I'm definitely, I'm definitely gonna check that out. Yo, in fact, go ahead and get that show another plug real quick. When
Highly Opinionated, starring Joshua Walker. They got a great producer. They actually got two good co-hosts. So one co-host, I think, is mostly their football guy, and then the other co-host is like their basketball guy. We might want to even get them in one day and let them kick it around. We take it around the thing. You know what I'm saying? Go old school.
But look, yo, book it, man. Book it. I mean, for real.
4 passes, no shots until we get the 4 passes type of thing.
Exactly. Move the ball around. Exactly.
I actually saw a beautiful clip today. It was some high school. No, it was a college team, and they ran a motion offense, and they did the whole possession without taking a dribble. I was like, oh, that's beautiful right there.
That's beautiful basketball, man. That's beautiful basketball. Well, look, man, it's the month of March. We're pretty much at the home stretch of the NBA regular season, and getting ready to hit them playoffs. And right now, playoff positioning and setting yourself up for the right matchups in the first round is extremely, extremely important. And if you really look at it, the top 8 or the top 4 in each conference, which equals the 8, are really the teams that we are looking at and taking seriously as it relates to true championship contenders.
We're gonna have a conversation about that.
Where you want to start? You want to start in the East? You want to start in the West? What?
Let's start in the East because I like the way the East is set up.
Okay, let's start in the East. Now, if you notice in the East, all right, the Pistons right now got a 4.5 game lead over the Boston Celtics. New York Knicks are in third place. You got the Cavs right behind them. Now, when we did our initial preview of the season, 3 of these 4 teams were in our top 4.
Right.
Excuse me. 3 of these 4 teams were in our top 4. The outlier, and it's sad that we had a former champion as an outlier, was the Boston Celtics. But
they are the antithesis of a team. They play basketball in a way that you can hide not having Tatum because everybody, a guy that some people were high on was the Pritchard kid. He's played well. Them getting Vucevic or Vucevic, however you say his name, that's another feather in their cap. It's just, and it all works. It all works.
Yeah, no, I I totally agree. All right. And you got Jaylen Brown playing at an MVP level right now. You know, the Pistons, the top seed, they have a legitimate MVP candidate with Cade Cunningham. Okay, Cade is taking that next step. All right, just curious to see if in that next step he'll be able to, how far he'll be able to carry this team. Look, I'm an unabashed Knicks fan, so y'all know how I feel about the New York Knicks. All right, they're right now the thought is, can he get past the Pistons? That's the only real thought. In the, I'll be honest with you, mainstream media gets on my nerves when it comes to that. Okay, and not looking at the fact that this team has won 5 of their last 6 games. All right, this team has, this team, has been 15-4 in this whole stretch. However, big matchups are what everyone are going to look at. All right. So, but if you, like I said, but look at it, you have the 4 teams and that level of difference between those 4 and everyone else.
See, and I was looking at it this way. I was looking at it as you got Detroit at the top, and then you got the next 3 battling to be second. Who's going to be second? I don't know, but it's going to play itself out. Then the question becomes, does Tatum come back, and can Boston keep that chemistry? When you add Tatum in, is there enough time for him to get acclimated to what they're trying to do and what they're trying to proceed with? So I see this as like kind of a Detroit's up on a pedestal a little bit. Then you got 3 teams fighting for the next spot or the next place in the realm. But seriously, I think, and I'm gonna go out on a limb, I think the 2, 3, or the 4 seed will be the team coming out of the East, not the Pistons.
Well, I'm going to go back to our predictions at the beginning of the season. The 3 and the 4 are the ones that are going to be playing for the for the chance to go to the finals.
Okay. I don't even remember my prediction, so.
No, trust me, I remember my predictions clearly. So.
All right, let's
ready to go out west?
Yeah, because I got a little different spin on the West.
Okay, so look, let's go out west, and of course, out west you have the defending champions, the Thunder, with a 3-game lead over the San Antonio Spurs, and then you have a distance with the Rockets and the Timberwolves and the Nuggets, behind them. In the Lakers. Now the West, right now, the West are about these top 2 teams, and it's because if you think about it, these top 2 teams have made it about the 2 of them, and one of the reasons why they made it about the 2 of them is because this is a budding rivalry in the making. Okay, but rivalries don't become rivalries until they they play in a 7-game series against each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally true.
Yeah. But it's still not out of realm of possibility that 7-game series might not even happen this postseason.
Totally agree, because I think in the West, the middle 3, the 3, 4, 5, has the ability, and I'm including the 5.
You got
they have the ability to make this real difficult for 1 and 2 to come out as the team or the top team. I also think that whoever wins the West this year is the champ. So I think the Western Conference is the NBA Finals, and then the NBA Finals is just a coordination ceremony.
It's an interesting point. I don't see it that way. I don't.
I know you
Yeah,
don't.
I don't.
Get this out of here. Get that off the screen. Let's
Yeah,
talk, man.
yeah, I don't. I mean, I click, uh, I clearly see, whoever comes out of the East, all right. And my pick from the very beginning of the season have been the Knicks coming out of the East, and not yeah, and look, and this ain't on no Homer ish, okay. This
Right?
is on what this team has built over the past 4 years, okay, and a team knowing that it's their time. So so I feel that any 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 I feel either way, this finals this year is going to be a battle. Okay, it's not, nothing is going
Oh,
to
no.
be easy. Nothing is going to be easy.
I don't see this as a gentleman's sweep. I see it going 6, but I just see whoever it was in the West winning it in 6.
Yeah,
And if you notice, me being a Lakers fan, I didn't mention the Lakers. I didn't include them in that middle tier. And the reason I didn't include them because I don't see where they can compete with 2, 3, and 4. Wherever they go, wherever they sit. If they sit at 6 and they get 3, and 3 is the Rockets, I don't see them hanging with the Rockets. Not the way they're constructed. The Lakers are the victims of star chasing and poor roster construction.
it would be hard for me not to disagree with what you just said as it relates to the Lakers. I mean, like I said, but I definitely disagree.
Hey, that's what we
Due
here.
to yeah, exactly. Due to matchups, uh, the finals is going to be a 6 or a 7 game series. I mean, trust me, didn't nobody see last year's finals being going 7?
No, we didn't. I think I had OKC in 5. I think I disrespected
I had
them.
exactly. I had them in 5. Okay, I had OKC winning. Yes. Okay. And even remember even when we did our preview show last year, okay, I had OKC beating Boston in 6.
Yeah. And
Okay.
the reason, I mean, think about it. If the way Indiana plays, I love how they just took advantage of the moment. They didn't shy away from it. They stole game 1, and I just figured that game 1 of the finals was just their version of being the Sixers. Excuse me. And they were just going to fold after that because they weren't going to get those type of performances from everybody on a night in and night out basis. But hey, they fooled me wrong. They proved me wrong.
Look, and remember that Pacer team stole game 1 in every series that they played last season.
Yep.
The minute they stole game 1 in OKC, that's when I knew this was going to be a series.
What do they say? The first team to win a game on the road is when you know you got a series.
Exactly. So yeah, and like I said, I mean, I'm expecting, I'm expecting an exciting and a tough playoffs this year. But it's all going to revolve around the 9 teams that we mentioned here.
And the great thing about that, the picture that you have is because we have the stars, so we won't have a situation where there's a lack of star power.
Exactly.
You got Brunson on the screen, but then you get Cat, on the side. You got Wembanyama and I don't know, Castle, Vassell,
and Fox.
Right. You got Minnesota on the screen. You got Ant, and then you got the rest of that team. Like the good thing is a lot of these teams are built late. They're layered. That's what word I'm gonna use. They're layered teams. They can get to the different places. When you come in with the second unit or you bring in somebody off the bench, you're not losing a whole lot. You got a quality starter, a quality player, and that's the difference to me about these. We said 9, but I like your 8 process. But it's just something about the West. I just think there's 3 teams in the middle of this fighting for respect. And I think that's gonna be where, you know, we always talk about Styles making fights, and I think this is where Styles is gonna make a fight, and things gonna happen a little bit different.
And when it comes to the East, I'm looking at those 2, 3, and 4s that are
Right.
confident that they can win the championship.
Right.
Not, damn respect. We trying to get these rings. All right. With with the Detroit team, that when the playoffs start, we got to see how they actually react under them lights.
Exactly. Because when the lights get bright, my man Brinson Buckner used to always say, "Pressure will make a monkey eat a hot pepper." Never knew what it meant, but that was his saying. So, and you in Charlotte, right? So Brinson used to be part of the morning show back in the early 2000s. And he used to say it, and I never knew what it makes. I never knew what he meant, but it makes sense.
It makes perfect sense. Yeah, I mean, it makes absolutely perfect sense. Man, look, we about to be out of here. Remember, you can always catch Nothing But Net Wednesdays, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. On Facebook Live, on YouTube, and on X. Make sure you're catching the audio version of this podcast on your favorite podcasting platforms, dropping tomorrow. Make sure that you are following the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network, because we got plenty and a plethora of stuff that's coming this year.
So first and foremost, let's first give a shout out to the Miss Boss Man.
Yes.
She has dropped some fire promos the last couple of nights, previewing each of the shows. We want to thank her for that. Thursday, tomorrow, 7:15, we got the Thursday Night Flight coming at you live and direct, and doing it the only way we can do it, because it is the Friday Eve special. The weekend, I know for sure we got the WrestleManiacs. Not sure if I can get the host of the Gridiron to get his stuff together to make that a thing or not. I'll talk to him, see what we can do. Then of course we got the Sunday Rise, where there's no better way to start your week off than with us.
Exactly.
11 a.m. Come in, join the content, the conversation, be ready. But back to this, Nothing But Net. Yo, this is not something we threw it together in short term, but we had long term in mind, because we had been talking about this all before this happened. And all I'm gonna say is, please enjoy the content. Please continue to support us. We thank anyone that has supported us and will continue to support us. I'll let you finish this out and close it out.
Oh man, we're gonna close it out the way we normally close it out. Yo, that's right. The Midnight Rider. I'm C. Perry II. Fall back, baby. Swish. See y'all next week.
All right, we out. Thank you.